Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another review. Today we have another S.H Figuarts Dragon Ball Z figure, and it's Frieza third form. So this is another premium Bandai release, which went for about $80, I believe. You can still probably find this pre-order up if you Google it. You might find some like vendors overseas in Japan or just some random ones. Just make sure and verify that they're legit sites. But I did Google it, and I found like 3 or 4 different sites. But yeah, I mean, if you were lucky enough to get it on Premium Bandai, it was the best buy. So hopefully you were. But without any further ado, let's take this guy out the box and let's get a look at him. All right, so here he is out of the box onto the rotating platform. First impressions are pretty good. He feels pretty nice in your hands. And I think aesthetically speaking, they made it look a lot like we remember him from the anime. It does look ugly though. I think it's one of the worst transformation that Frieza has, but nonetheless it is one of his transformations, so it's nice to finally complete all of them. And yeah, overall the sculpt looks nice. There's enough detailing going on. Just of course more paint always is welcomed, but it's not always there. But the sculpt alone is pretty impressive and accurate, so good job there. Let's go over his accessories and we'll do articulation and comparisons and all that. Alrighty, so for accessories, he does bring these 3 pairs of symmetrical hands, wide open blasting hands, and then like some gripping hands, and then the 2 fingered hands. You can also port this effect piece right onto the fingers, so it has a little spot where you can just nudge it in so it doesn't fall off. And that looks pretty dope and it works well, so good job with that. And of course, we get the number 6 Dragon Ball, which looks very nice. It kind of shimmers in the light. Good job with that as well. And then here he is with the crossed arms effect, which I like the way they did it. It's actually pretty easy to take off the original arms and put these on. And then it's easy to put the original arms back on, which isn't always the case. Most times I don't even mess with the crossed arms because it's so stressful, but this is easy enough, so good job. He does also bring this extra headpiece, and it has like a different expression on the brow. It's like more angry looking, I guess. And that faceplate only fits that head. The other faceplate is for the original head, and it can be interchanged. And it's like a gritted teeth face. Looks pretty good as well. All right, so let's just take a closer look at him. As the sculpt is very nice. I was never a huge fan of this version of Frieza. I always thought it was the ugliest one. And it kind of like seemed like a downgrade after the second form. So it's got those lanky arms and then short legs. And he's all kind of like big in the chest. That long like xenomorph type head. And then just like those random spikes poking out the back. So overall, I was never a fan of it, like I said, but I did want this figure because, I mean, it was the last piece in the puzzle to having all forms of Frieza. And overall, I actually like it. It has a great sculpt. The lining throughout the arms and legs add a lot of detail. There's no real shading, maybe like a little bit. It's not like completely white. It's like off-white. But I don't know if there's shading or if that's just like the color. And then the sculpt makes it seem like there's shading. But there might be a little bit here. It's kind of hard to tell. But aside from that, you know, the tail was cut off in the second form. So it's not a completed tail. I like the continuity in that, I guess. But then when he goes final form, all of a sudden he has his full tail again. So I don't remember why that's the case. But overall, yeah, the sculpt is very nice. Aside from the fact that it's a very ugly character. But it looks good. They did make it look accurate to what he looked like. So they did a great job with that. All right, so let's go over the articulation now. So he can look up about that much. You can look down very well. There's no real tilt side to side or swivel side to side on the head. Now the shoulder pads are articulated as well. head gets in the way though. The arms can do a full 360. They got a swivel at the bicep and then a nice deep bend at the elbow. Got a swivel and a hinge at the wrist and a pretty good working butterfly joint too. Brings the arm forward. The arm can drop down in here. We've got swivel at the chest, not too much side to side, but the crunch is pretty decent. And then at the torso, same swivel and a decent crunch. The legs can kick out pretty darn good. Feels nice too. And then the knees can bend that much. Can he kick back? Yes, he can. Can he kick sideways? Yeah, very good. We've got a swivel here at the quad. And then we've got a swivel and a hinge on the foot. And the ankle range is really, really good on this. It feels nice too. And then, of course, we have the tail, which has a few different points of articulation. You can pretty much get it wherever you want with a combination of these two ball joints. And then you can spin them around and swivel and hinge them. You can use them to stand up too, because he is very like top heavy with his head and then these spikes on the back. So it's nice that that's there just to help him stand up. But overall, I think that the articulation is nice, and then the joints feel nice and fluid. Nothing is too stiff or too loose. It's like actually very well built. So good job with that, because that's not always the case. And for comparisons, here he is next to Frieza's other forms. So we got first form, second, third, and final form finally. Before Golden Frieza, which I didn't include, but it's pretty much the same as the final form, just different color. All right, so final thoughts on this figure. I think that they actually did a great job. It feels very nice in your hands and it articulates great, buttery smooth on the joints, and just it's very nice when sometimes we get these S.H Figuarts that cost so much and then they feel like they're going to break. This one doesn't feel that way. It feels like it's very posable and it's not like stressful to use. So good job with that. And aesthetically speaking, like I said, they pretty much nailed it. It does look like third form Frieza, at least how I remember it. It could have benefited by a little bit more paint, as most figures obviously would. But I do like what they did with it, and they included a decent amount of accessories with a little blast effect and then enough hand changes. An extra head, which may have been overkill, but at the same time, nice to have included it. The cross arms look nice. So overall, I think they did a great job, and I would recommend you guys pick this up. It's a great figure. So that's going to be it for this review. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you want. Take care, and peace.